Alrighty, welcome to episode 11 of the Consistent Genius Podcast. I'm here with Kobe Collins, a.k.a. Bobo.
As I'm also known as Bobo, yes.
And I'm here with BHOS 20, Bryce Hostetler.
Yes, sir.
The man, the myth, the legend. Legendary ladies man.
No.
As
Got
usual.
One.
And legendary H-back.
Thank you. I'm flattered.
Get closer to the mic. It's okay.
Oh, get comfy, man.
Get comfy then.
Sit like this.
Yeah, you're good.
Hey, so we're going to start off the show with a couple of fan suggestions. First, we got shout out to Alexis France. She wanted a shout out. We got Devin. Wanted to say, BHOS, the Cowboys are the best in the NFL.
Whoa.
That's something we can definitely debate about today.
And then we have a fan suggestion topic. Haskins has declared to the NFL.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on that?
You can start.
I personally think it was expected. I mean,
Talking to the mic, not to me.
I think it was expected. I knew there was a chance he was coming back, but I think once Justin Fields officially transferred, you could kind of tell that Haskins would go because Justin Fields actually was talking to Haskins before, he was considering transferring, and basically it was summarized Fields' decision was based on whether or not Haskins was declaring or not. So I wasn't surprised when he declared for the draft at all. So.
Yeah, it was funny because my dad actually was talking to me about this before the Washington game. He was like, it was a really far-fetched idea, but he was kind of having the conspiracy theory that Ohio State would come out with Tate Martell starting and then have Haskins just not play the whole game because he would have sat for the draft. But I didn't think he was going to do that. My dad just mentioned that as kind of like a joke thing, but I started thinking about it. I was like, I mean, I thought he was going to go to the draft either way, whether if he was going to play or if not, he was still going to go to the draft.
Yeah.
But it didn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, and then I don't know, I said this earlier in an earlier podcast, but I saw somewhere that he could go to the, I think the Bills.
Really? I heard the Giants.
Oh, wait, no, the Giants is what I'm thinking, with Zeke and...
No.
Not
Saquon.
No, who's...
Saquon Barkley's back for the Giants.
No.
Yeah.
Who's...
Yes, he is.
I think he is too, yeah.
Who are some other players?
Odell Beckham.
Odell,
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking. Not Zeke. Oh, my. That's terrible.
Happens to the best of us.
Hey, you never know.
I know, it
He'd
does.
go to the Browns, though.
Listen, man.
I'd love for him to
That
come
would
to the
be
Browns.
awesome,
Let me say
dude.
that.
They're gonna make the
Baker
playoffs.
Mayfield, my
first
man.
The NFL is not that good. And
I
the Browns
watch
are
more.
especially not that good.
I'm starting to watch
Are
the
you
NFL a lot more now.
0-16
Yeah,
to
dude.
7-1.
Did you
That's a
watch
season.
the last 8 games of the Browns season?
No, I watched the very first game against the Steelers.
Okay,
We
that's
played
why
in the
you
pouring
think
rain.
that. That's why you think that.
The Steelers got cheated. About 50 penalties.
They had
against us.
Steelers
they
didn't
had
make the
6
playoffs either.
turnovers, dude.
I
They
know,
they
dude, the
almost they should have
Steelers-
lost that game.
I
They
mean,
had 6
we were
turnovers.
playing down a major player though, which he was stupid for, everything he did. Missing out on all this money.
Oh, yeah.
Baker didn't even start that game.
Yeah.
Really?
He didn't play
Baker-
the first 3 games, and he broke Peyton Manning's
Yeah.
rookie season
Yes.
touchdown
I
record.
know. I
Yeah.
know. He wasn't.
He better win Rookie of the Year, dude.
I know. If he doesn't, I'd be very
I
surprised.
actually do know he wasn't starting because in Madden, at that time, he was not starting. So if you played Madden back then, you were like, "Hey, where's Baker Mayfield?"
Yeah, exactly.
And it took a while for him to be updated, I think. But
Mhm.
now, I think they still suck on Madden.
Probably, yeah, because everyone hates the Browns pretty much. They want to
Yeah.
keep them where they are, but they'll be
Yeah.
up there soon.
They are doing pretty good. 2020 Super Bowl champs. It's whatever.
Oh, 100%.
For sure.
I'll be there too for sure.
Hey, man, if they go to the Super Bowl, I'll go watch.
Oh
Shoot.
yeah, that's a once in a lifetime opportunity right there.
Yeah, for sure. It's been a while since the Pittsburgh Steelers been to the Super Bowl, so gotta go to someone, I guess.
That's
I
true.
actually like the Patriots too, so if I have to pick a
Really?
second team to
Aw,
pick, I gotta pick
man.
Patriots. I got family up in Massachusetts,
Okay,
so
I understand that.
I don't know if I even have a second team to pick, honestly. For college, I have multiple teams, but NFL, I'm only a Browns fan, really.
what teams for college? I would just say OSU and then LSU, dude. I find myself rooting for LSU a lot.
Mhm.
I think they're an
Really?
incredible team.
A lot of people are going to hate this, but I actually will support Alabama a lot of the times just because I think they are
Roll Tide.
I just love how everyone's scared of them and everyone knows they're the top dog.
Okay.
It's just
Respect that.
hypocritical to say because I want Ohio State to be the top dog, of course, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
liked how they come in with the mentality as
Yeah.
I'm better than the next opponent. I see that with LSU too a lot of the times.
Yeah.
See, I completely agree with you on that, but The reason I agree with you on like the top, like they're the top dog, and I
Mhm.
respect that. But I just I love to hate him.
Oh yeah,
I'm just gonna be
I-
blunt. I'm an Ohio State super fan, dude. Like, it's fun like talking about Ohio State, talking big about them.
yeah, I'll rarely tell people that because people just start bashing the crap out of me.
Yeah.
It's not like I'll go out and openly root for them, but like
yeah.
I'm gonna be rooting for them against Clemson. One, I hate Clemson
Yeah.
just because it's Clemson, but I'd root for Alabama over anyone almost, except
Yeah.
Ohio State and
Yeah.
Michigan. I'd want Alabama, of course.
So you think they're gonna win today?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Okay.
So we're recording this a day early on a Monday,
Mhm.
and the game's tonight at 8. So predictions are Alabama's going to win all around. I think they will.
I say Bama too. Yeah.
I'm hoping so. I strongly dislike Clemson. I don't even know what it. I think it's that 33-0 Ohio State
Yeah.
when they whooped us, and
No.
I think that's still fresh in my mind. I hate them so much.
You know what I really hate about like the college football?
What do you really
what
hate about
happened?
college football?
It's like
I'm
like,
pissed that Notre
two-
Dame and Oklahoma got in. That's what I'm pissed
yeah,
about.
that
Notre Dame was dog meat.
that
Oklahoma's a
okay.
joke. Sorry, I keep cutting you
No,
off,
it's
but
okay.
this is I get
I think
fumed
Oklahoma.
about this.
I
Yeah,
think Oklahoma
Oklahoma's
had a couple
defense is-
skilled players, and
If
I
you
think they
can
were
let up
decent.
53 points and still somehow win a game, that's pathetic in my
Yeah.
opinion. Now, Ohio State, of course, did
They
not
did not
do
have a
much
good
better
season.
than that. But I'm
Yeah.
not saying Ohio State should have been in there instead. I'm
What-
saying
what
Oklahoma
Ohio
should not
State
have been there.
win?
Yeah.
53-52 or something?
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. But Oklahoma's 56-53 to West Virginia, which, I mean, Ohio State is Maryland, but, like,
Yeah.
still, it's the same. But if Oklahoma got in, then Ohio State should have been. If
Yeah, but
Ohio
that's
State
even
didn't
to
get in,
say
Oklahoma shouldn't have been in.
FSU was undefeated. Why aren't they in? They're like 26-0 right now.
UCF, you mean?
Or UCF,
Yeah,
sorry.
UCF.
What did I
Yeah.
say?
FSU.
FSU.
They're trash right now.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't even know
They
what their
used to be
program is.
undefeated, but now they suck.
Yeah, Crab Legs was there. James Winston.
That was funny.
Oh yeah.
So OSU, we have someone actually from the Dublin area committed now, right?
Yeah.
You said 5-star recruit.
Five-star
Yeah,
Garrett
Garrett
Wilson,
Wilson.
from Lake Travis, Texas.
Garrett Wilson moved to Texas.
Hmm.
When? Like,
I want to say right after middle school. I think he went.
Yeah, he never played middle school
Yeah,
ball.
I wasn't too close with him. I'll be honest, because he was going to Grizel. Yeah, I know. But he went down to Lake Travis and went to high school there. And like, if you like, I remember watching his videos from freshman year to senior, and the transformation was unbelievable. The man just, when you look at him, you think 5-star athlete.
Texas
you know,
is
he's-
like a different breed of athletes.
Oh, yeah.
Because they play in like the blazing hot sun.
Oh, and their program, like I've seen like Travis's program, like pictures and stuff and videos. Like their stadium is as big as OU's football stadium, like a
Really?
Mac
Yeah,
college.
They're like title contenders every year or something.
Oh,
aren't they?
yeah,
They
100%.
they
I-
won when he was there. I know that.
Interesting to say about the stadium. I have family in Texas, and they don't have their own stadium for the high school, but they have one stadium that they share with multiple, and it's huge. I'm
Mhm.
talking gigantic. They have a Megatron in their stadium, dude. It's sweet.
Yeah.
But like, it's like a state-of-the-art stadium you see at like a college, and it's just it's different
It
down
is.
there than
Yeah.
it is up here. I don't think there's as many like home field.
Mhm.
I think it's a lot more like centralized play at different.
Yeah,
Like-
I totally feel that. I think I honestly envy it just because it seems so cool. Even though I'm not like, I love football, but it's also like not my favorite thing probably. But it definitely is like unbelievably unique down there. How like crazy and everyone gets for it, and how much money they're willing to put into it, and how what they're willing to do for their kids.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to build careers. A lot of
Mhm.
athletes come out of Texas. Then again, a lot of athletes come out of Ohio.
Yeah, I mean Ohio's
Ohio,
like
Cali,
we're
not
big
Texas.
football.
that far off. But like,
Yeah.
Texas is like the football state, but Ohio's like one of the big football states too.
Yeah.
And they had all the All-Star games down in Florida this week, right? This past week.
Yeah.
I
saw
watched
that.
one or two of those. They're fun to watch. I saw one of them was like 28-27. It's interesting that they even out the players so well that they can be that close.
Yeah, I saw. You know how they're doing their commitments and stuff there for some of the guys. One dude committed to UCF from there instead of going to like Florida or Notre Dame. I think he would also offered
Wasn't
him.
it like
that?
a last-minute
I
decision
can't
or
remember his
something?
name. I'll be honest with you, but when I saw that, I was like, wow, that surprises me.
Maybe UCF's gonna be here for a while, but they need to.
Their-
I heard-
I'll bet you their recruiting class has gotten a hell of a lot better.
Yeah,
You know.
I heard Florida actually offered if they wanted to play a game like in the regular season. I don't
That'd
know
be
if they
fun-
took it or
that'd be
not,
fun
but
to watch.
that would be like a great chance for them to prove
Oh, yeah.
themselves. So
Well, they didn't do it against LSU this year.
yeah, I mean,
It's better.
I
than
know
thought it was gonna
I
be.
know LSU didn't have like all their top DBs, but they didn't have their quarterback. I don't know how much of a factor like that
True.
played.
That is true.
I think LSU is a great team. They're good clutching, good clutch up team.
Yeah, guess
Yeah.
guess where their quarterback came from.
Here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wait, yeah.
Joe Burrow.
He was here for 4
Mr.
years as
Ohio.
a backup.
Yeah.
Transfers there as what, a redshirt senior or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, wow. So is he going to the NFL? Anything come out of him?
I don't know.
I have no clue. To be
I wanna-
honest,
I-
I don't follow them that much.
I bet you it declared, but
Yeah. See, that's the smartest thing though. What he did, he backup quarterback. That's like the best gig in the system because
Mhm.
backup quarterback, normal quarterback's a pretty good gig. Backup quarterback's even better.
Yeah.
If you've
Yeah.
seen Blue Mountain State.
Blue
Yeah.
Mountain State. I was just gonna say that.
And now he's at LSU being the star,
Mhm.
raking in the dough, rolling in the green.
Oh yeah. Probably, and he's got all the spotlight he'd ever need.
There's no money in the NCAA,
Yeah,
so he
that's
just
it.
gets the
no
girls.
money. Yeah.
Ah. I wonder if they have like endorsements and stuff. You think?
I don't know. I've heard about some kids like I don't know names, of course, but I've heard people getting money, of
Expose
course.
'em.
I don't know names. I don't know any of those people.
But hey, that'd be pretty cool to get that. What is it, Garrett Wilson?
Mm.
Is he around here now? Is he living
Yeah,
here now?
last I heard he graduated early from high school and he lives on campus now. He's
Might
a
need to-
semester
Okay.
in.
Might need to reach out to him. Tell him.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet.
yeah, come on. That'd be good. Pick his
I know
mind
he was friends with Hayden Shell before he moved. So
Yeah.
he
they're
reached
on
out
the
to him.
same team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember. I'll remember about him in DFL
Yeah.
or like Devil Football League.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like I remember my team like was scrimmaging him or something,
Mhm.
and he was just like running around the whole field, just all around.
Yeah, I remember like
Nobody could tackle him at all.
my team won remember the Longhorns? We
Yeah.
won the championship that year, and their team was the only one that tied us that year. We were undefeated except for
Wow.
them.
Oh, wow.
And like I remember him just scoring every touchdown. Everyone was like, "That kid's gonna go to the NFL someday. Like he's gonna go to college and go to NFL and just from little league games, it's
Wow.
crazy."
Yeah, that's like a pure born athlete.
hmm
That's crazy.
You could watch him and you could just tell he was something different than everyone else.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see him do good things at OSU.
hmm
And then we have Saunders. Has he been doing anything at OSU recently?
I think he's done now.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I'll be honest with
He
you.
was one of the kickoff returner upbacks. I
Mhm.
think
What year is he?
he was a senior this year.
Oh,
He was like
really?
I think he was a true senior.
Yeah, I think he was because he walked on his freshman year and then didn't get a scholarship till his sophomore or junior.
Yeah.
Right.
It's too bad.
Interesting.
I mean, he played. He started.
Yeah,
on
I mean, he worked up to
special
it too.
teams, though.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
pretty cool.
So the Georgia quarterback is coming to OSU.
Yeah.
It's confirmed.
I heard about that.
After Haskins has declared for the NFL.
Yeah.
So will Tate Martell be the quarterback for OSU, or will it be the Fields?
I
What's his
honestly
first
have no clue. Justin Fields.
Justin Fields.
Fields.
Yeah. From what I feel like I've seen in the past with OSU, they'll definitely, I think, sit Justin for the first season and let Tate play. Like kind of like what
Yeah.
they did with Tate this
We
year.
do have a new coach.
Yeah.
You gotta think
True,
of that.
Ryan Day is different, and he's a passing coach where Tate Martell's more of a running
Yeah.
quarterback. So
Mhm.
you never know, honestly.
And Ryan Day's still running the offense, to my knowledge.
Well,
He's
one-
the
Yeah, I
offensive
think he is.
coordinator.
One thing I heard is that Justin Fields might not even be eligible yet. Like he has to pass eligibility first.
Oh,
yeah,
before he
don't
can
they
even-
hold
okay.
him for like a
before he
year
can
or
even
something?
officially play.
Oh,
Is that
because
a
of
thing?
transfers, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I feel like I've
I wonder
heard
if
that.
they'll screw him over like that. So he's going to be a junior?
Well, does he regain his freshman year?
I don't
eligibility?
know. Yeah, that's a good question. I
'Cause,
haven't really looked
there's
into
redshirt.
that.
I know there's redshirt seniors that transfer over to different schools to play another year.
See, that's an
But does
an
does that
interesting-
work as the same way for freshmen?
Oh, I have no clue. But that brings up an interesting topic.
Yeah.
Athletes that I saw this on Twitter, I think. Athletes that go to a school to play football, are they really getting an education that will help them in life, or do you think they're just going and being football players, and after that they're screwed?
Some people are a lot different than others, I think. Because I know James Bartman. He was talking about his older brother that goes to Michigan, John.
Mm.
He was in a class with one of the football players. His name was
Mhm.
Chris Evans or something. I
Mm.
don't know, but his last name was Evans.
Expose them.
I've seen him play before,
Mhm.
and he said he was just flat out dumb as rocks,
Dang.
and
Oh,
he
really?
didn't even sound like he could speak English or something like that.
Wow.
But
See, but then you look at kids like what was it, Ohio State? Aaron Kraft.
yeah,
He's a
he's a
4.0 student at Ohio State
he had,
basketball, full
100 division five
scholarship.
or something like that.
He went to med school after Ohio State.
Wow.
So
It varies.
That's
a lot.
crazy.
I feel like
I
it
saw
depends on the
people.
person, you know.
I went to one of our basketball games the other day, dude.
Mhm.
It was terrible. Our team, dude, we were 7 for 30 in shots.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like,
I
wow.
haven't been,
And
I
it
should
was
probably
against
pay attention
it was
more to
against
basketball than I
Youngstown
do.
State.
Uh,
It was
oh,
tough.
wasn't it Michigan? Michigan State?
No, Youngstown State. This was maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Was this the Buckeyes?
Yeah.
Okay. I
At
didn't
the
know what
shot.
you're talking about. Might be.
It was cold. Had to, ride the what do you call it? The transit.
Oh yeah, I know what
the
you're talking about.
bus.
Yeah, the Codas.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I have been loving those? I've been going to. I went to a Blue Jackets game a couple weeks ago.
Really? I haven't been to one in so long.
I know, dude. They're so fun.
Did you see the cannon? You know how they have the cannon there?
It was a wild game, actually. I went to the first time they played the Red Wings this season. It was a while ago. It was probably a month ago. But they were down 3-0 until the third quarter, and then they came back as like 3 goals back-to-back, and then they lost by 1 because they went open goal. But it was a fun game to be at.
Dude, hockey, only thing I know about hockey is like Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah.
I know he
that
played for
type
the
of stuff.
Oilers.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
interesting fact about him, he was a team captain on every team but except for the last team that he played for.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
How many teams did he play for?
I know.
4? Maybe.
I have no clue.
Okay.
I know. Oh gosh, what was his name? Oh, I can't remember his name, but he lived. There was a dude that played on the Blue Jackets who was, I think, in attack. He played for Phil Blue Jackets in Columbus, but he lived over right next to me. He lived in my neighborhood. Like.
Oh, Jack Johnson.
Yeah, Jack Johnson. That's who it was. Couldn't think of his name. I was about to say Jim Johnson.
I think he lived there. Like I heard he had like
his
dispute with
family.
His parents
took all of his money because his account was in their name or something. He took all of the money. The parents took his money, so he had no money, and then
there was
they like disconnected from him.
Famous person that lived over near towards Plain City. I forget who it was though.
In Tartan, there's a massive house. It looks like a castle. That it was another Blue Jackets. It was a goalie, not Bobrovsky. It was a different goalie that lived there for a while.
This is like a big.
I have no clue. I don't know the names. I just know
a place where people love to retire to.
Oh yeah, it's gorgeous back there. Yeah, it is.
It's crazy, drive back there, see all the big houses with the
you
pillars.
go there
it's
in
like
Christmas.
the White House, man.
Yeah.
Did you guys go see that road? It's like Harriet Road that's supposed to be like synced with the radio station. Like the whole street is like lights.
No, I wanted to do that this year actually, but I didn't get to.
Wait, what was that? It's
Harriet
like a light
Road.
show?
Yeah, like it's like I heard it's a big U, and then you just drive through it with your radio on, and it's like the lights are all synced.
Do you know what it's called?
Harriet Road.
No, I mean like the light show. The light show name.
No, I don't think it has a.
Haas, didn't you post a picture with it?
No, that
No,
was
no,
that
no,
was
we
a
went-
different.
we
That was
went-
in,
where'd
that was
you
in
go?
Fairgrounds. We
Okay,
went.
never mind.
Ava and I went to
Chinese
Dragon Lights or something.
Really?
Yeah, I've heard of that
It was
too.
in Fairgrounds or something.
Okay.
It was nice.
That's
I
sweet.
didn't go to all the rich neighborhoods that I wanted to go look at the cool Christmas lights this year.
No,
Dude.
have you been to the Fairgrounds?
No, I never have.
It's like it's like as Ava's mom. Like
Who's
I
Ava?
didn't.
Who's Ava? Come on.
Okay, she's my girlfriend, obviously.
Oh.
That's how we went there.
Okay.
And-
awesome.
And like in her own words, like I was like I didn't know what it was like,
Yeah.
and she said
was
it's
amazing.
not the best place to get a flat tire. That's what she said. So
Yeah, that's
yeah.
half of Columbus pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, it's alright.
What?
I think he's trying to say that it's just a rough neighborhood.
Yeah, I know. It's not like not all the
That's
light shows
why.
are
It's the hood.
nice.
Yeah. I don't know what part of town.
Lots
it is.
of
I mean,
yeah.
It's
Fairgrounds
like
aren't
30
that
minutes
bad,
away or
but-
something like that.
yeah.
Yeah, lots of.
I got
lots
my
of, like-
window smashed in 2 weeks ago actually.
Really? Where
Really?
at?
Yeah, I was parked right in front of the Park City dorms at OSU.
Wow.
In the lights, parked next to 2 other cars too. I must have
What'd they
forgot.
steal?
There was apparently I drove my dad's car, and apparently I left my sister's bag in the back, which I was driving at night, so I couldn't see anything in the trunk or in the back. They must have saw it and just smashed, grabbed it, and ran.
For a bag. Wow.
And I mean, whoever that robber was, they got a pair of size 6 girls' basketball shoes and an old water bottle that's
I
probably
know.
been in
See,
their
that's
house. And-
risky. doing that for a bag. I know.
And then I had
what's
to go through
this?
all like the police reports and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Just it was a bunch of nonsense.
You
for
know,
just
like Bravo up on Bethel, right?
yeah, yeah.
I know a guy. His laptop. It was in the parking lot, and someone smashed his window for the laptop.
Yeah, it's crazy what
Yeah.
people do nowadays for that stuff. Yeah.
It is wild. I mean, I do know down on campus, like okay,
Yeah,
downtown, for example.
it was my fault. I should have put the bag in the trunk, honestly. But I didn't even know there was a bag back there. So.
Yeah. But downtown, like, it's like bad. Like downtown, like in the center is like decent. You know,
Yeah.
lots of people want to live
Yeah.
there. You know, big.
It's getting
millennials.
bigger. Yeah, it's getting nicer.
But
Arena
the-
district and all
The
that.
surrounding though,
Yeah.
that's where you don't want to be. That's
Yeah.
like the hood. And then like there's German Village, which is nice, but all the surrounding areas.
Mm.
That's similar to like Bexley. It's real nice in Bexley, but
Yeah.
everything around it's like the hood.
Yeah,
Dangerous.
I know Columbus has one. My dad works a lot with this because he's the Parks and Recreation director at Columbus.
Yeah, Parks and Rec. I love that show.
Yeah, that's what he is basically. He's Leslie Knope, but he deals a lot with the homeless population in Columbus because
Yeah.
like the parks are his. So naturally homeless people go to the parks and they'll like
Yeah, of
sleep and
course,
whatever.
Of course.
And it's I don't know, it's been eye opening to me to see like to understand like how bad the homeless population is in Columbus, you know, and like the heroin epidemic and all that stuff.
Oh,
That's
dude,
still.
heroin's huge in Hilliard.
Oh yeah, well it's huge in
Well,
Columbus,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Have you ever watched Drugs Inc?
No,
The
I haven't
episode
actually,
for
but-
heroin is filmed in Columbus. They did a
Wow.
heroin deal at Tuttle Mall
Wow.
on Drugs
Oh, really?
Incorporated.
No
Uh-huh.
way.
It was
Dude,
so
Tuttle
funny. I
Mall-
saw Dublin Road on there. I was like, I live there, bro. Like
Oh,
what?
wait, I actually did you guys hear about what happened at like the Red Roof Inn, like right next to?
Oh yeah, it's
Bob
a
Evans?
sex.
There was a sex
trafficking.
trafficking
Oh
thing
yeah,
in
well,
the
and you know
hotels.
Tuttle Mall is like one of the sex trafficking
'cause,
epicenters
like,
in the
in the
nation because
bathrooms or
it's
something?
right next to 270.
Wow.
Because they will drug people, take them in the cars, and they'll zip right out.
Yeah,
And they're
that's
gone.
Tuttle
That's
Mall,
scary,
dude.
dude.
Like it's gone downhill. I mean, now
Mhm.
most of the people like around here, like the higher up population, you know, we
Yeah.
we generally have like Dublin bubble, like
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Dublin bubble's a thing for sure.
you know,
I think
like
so many
rich
people
kids,
take that
quote,
for
unquote.
granted too.
Oh yeah,
like,
totally.
I know I do. Like I leave stuff outside overnight. Like I know
Yeah.
it's not gonna get taken. I'm not gonna with it.
Yeah, that's
Like,
a good call.
Yeah, I know. It's just
Well, see, that's different. Like I think in your neighborhood, for example, like
Yeah,
leaving
I
your
mean-
like bike outside, like I think that's fine
Yeah.
still.
Mm-hmm.
But
Because
like,
really, the only thing we have to worry about is like idiot teenagers that are 2 years younger than us, pretty much. You
Yeah.
know, like what we
Yeah.
used to be doing when we were younger.
yeah.
I
but
mean
like,
I know I never stole anybody's bike, but
Yeah, I know. That's like some
So-
boom.
I'm just
gang.
gonna say I haven't either.
Oh,
No,
that's
I'm kidding.
crazy.
I haven't.
There were kids that threw a bunch of bikes in like the car pond a while ago. You know?
I
What?
feel like I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
bro, why would they even do that?
Just
There's
I
no
don't know.
point.
I
Kids are
remember
so
like
stupid, man.
me.
Just to
I know
piss
like me and
people
my
off.
friends in middle school went through like a crazy fireworks phase. You know, like I feel like
Fireworks?
everyone's done
Oh,
that.
like
You just-
fire? Yeah, I love like getting
No,
some
like
wood, making
fireworks,
a fire.
like
Oh,
full
I don't
out
know,
fireworks. I have
fire-
videos, man, that I lost all because I tried to restore my phone. I lost my photos, but like I used to have these videos of us setting off like big fireworks in parks. It was really stupid, honestly, but it was so funny.
I saw a video yesterday. Actually, it was a guy with a lightsaber, and a guy was firing fireworks at him, and he would block it with a lightsaber. And he
No.
blocked a couple.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
So-
Roman candle wars, dude. Those are so fun. The ones that you like,
Yeah.
they shoot little sparks of like
Yeah.
color out. Yeah,
Dude,
fun
the
times.
internet has some crazy videos. People are insane with what they do.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
I saw this video today. It was a cat. A guy had his cat sleeping, so he tied a dead lizard to it.
Oh,
and the
I
cat
saw
wakes
that
up.
too.
Yeah, you saw that?
I like
And
that.
it like jumps
Really?
around.
That was
Yeah.
mean to his cat, man.
Yeah,
his
that
cat's
is
doing
mean,
nothing,
actually.
just
Dang.
chilling.
Dude, cats are scared of cucumbers. You guys know that?
Yeah.
And like, have you ever seen what happens when you put like something on their head? They'll like shrink in and they'll like come like
Yeah.
immobile, like
I
they
have
won't
a
move or
cat,
anything.
So like, if you
Yeah.
put like, what we do is like not often, but you know, we'll get like wrapping paper, for example. You put the tape on wrapping paper, you stick it to her tail.
Oh
and
yeah,
like
I heard
she'll
about
like
that.
just run everywhere 'cause she's trying to get away. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like hectic, but it's funny to watch. Cats are funny, man.
Oh yeah. Ours actually just passed away.
Oh,
To be honest with you.
sorry.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's all right,
sucks.
man. I wasn't really connected to her, so it's
Yeah.
not that it's okay, but like it
Yeah.
was sad. Yeah.
Hey.
I'm more of a dog person though.
Yeah. Dogs are the best. Cats are cool, but I like dogs a lot. So.
True.
Yeah, dogs are cool.
Mhm.
You know, we have a dog that comes to the studio. We actually have two of them.
Oh, really?
One comes like daily, but then there's another one that comes around. There's like a German
That's pretty
Shepherd,
awesome.
young
Oh,
one, like
oh.
6 months old.
Oh, I thought you were talking about
Oh,
Mozart.
I love
What happened
pups.
to
No,
did
he
Mozart?
died.
When did he die?
Christmas, like not last year, but the year before that, 2016
Mm.
Christmas.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
Yeah, he was a big Saint Bernard. He lived for like.
Oh, I
he
love
was
Saint
old
Bernards.
for Saint Bernard.
Oh really?
You know.
Yeah.
And
The
they
big
died
dogs.
pretty young,
Yeah, big
yeah.
dogs die usually early. My stepdad has two English Mastiffs, and you can tell they're getting real old. One of them, the front legs like barely work, and the other one, the back legs barely work. So like,
Oh, that's
Yeah.
sad.
they're awesome dogs. I love
You know, Lexi Featheroff from episode 2 of the Consistent Genius podcast.
them. Yes, I've heard the name.
Yeah, she has these big Great Dane, or they're what are they? Great Danes or
I've never seen
Roman
dogs, I don't know.
Terriers? Dude, yes, you have.
No, I haven't.
At her house. There's
I've
no
been to her
way
house,
you
but
haven't,
I
dude.
just
These
never
are
seen
big
it.
ass dogs that stay upstairs.
I've never been to their house, so I don't
No.
know.
I mean, I've been there, but I've never seen them.
You 100% saw. There were two
No,
dogs. There's a boy and a
I-
girl, and they're huge. Like they could.
Those are probably
like,
Great
easily
Danes
just-
then. I mean,
yeah.
Great Danes are like that tall. They're
Maybe
huge.
not Great
Mm.
Dane. I want to say they're something terrier. Grand Terriers. I don't know.
I
That's
don't
the
know,
thing.
man.
But yeah, they're super nice. I like nice dogs. They're like, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah. My dog's actually trained for hunting, so I hunt a lot. So
Yeah.
he's a real good dog too.
oh my god, that's like my uncle's dog. He from a young age, she was very well trained.
Nice job, Haas. Making the mic
Man,
fall.
that wasn't my fault. It just. All right, we're
Just
good.
leave it like that.
Yeah, leave it there.
From a very young age, she was trained. So like, he takes her hunting, obviously.
Yeah.
Like with
Do you know what type of dog?
Oh, what?
Is it a short hair pointer?
I don't think so.
Okay, I have a chocolate lab that's trained, so
I'll send
I
you a
don't know.
picture one of these days.
Yeah.
It might be some sort of lab. It's brown.
Okay, it might be a chocolate lab then.
Yeah, but super nice. And like literally nicest dog in the world. Like when I was little, not little, but when I was younger, and they just got the puppy. Like I was like sleeping on the floor. She just came up, licked my face while I
No,
was
really?
sleeping.
Yeah, that's
like,
the best.
And like she listens and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now, funny story. She did come and meet my cat, and my cat was about to beat her ass with the claws. Right? You know,
Yeah.
the puppy just tries to play with the cat, but the cat
wants to kill him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So like it was a little standoffish.
That's pretty funny.
So that was almost like a war.
Oh yeah, totally.
But nice dog. Dogs are nice. They mean well.
Mm-hmm.
It's terrible when that like in the eyes of
Oh,
the
yeah,
angel. I don't like that commercial.
Oh, the ASPCA. Yeah, those frustrate me.
Oh,
Same
yeah.
with the PETA ones. No, I'm not.
PETA, what is that?
Did you see that? Did you see the thing they put on Twitter about like nicer phrases?
Have you
can
seen
say?
everything they
I
put
mean,
on Twitter? Their Twitter is probably one of the
I
most
don't-
ignorant things I've ever seen in my
What's
life.
PETA?
The only
Like,
thing I've
people
seen on
against-
their, about
People
their Twitter
against
is like
something. It's people who are against. They're all the vegans, vegetarians, the people who like are against everything about owning or using animals, pretty much.
oh
Yeah.
my
Which
gosh. Yeah, it's
in
like,
my life I do
it's-
that daily. So
Yeah,
It's a
animals are
step
here
too
for
far.
us to eat.
yeah, or be in partnership.
Or,
with,
yeah,
like,
companionship.
companionship.
Yeah.
Better word. Yeah.
It's kind of I find it kind of weird how like we find like dogs as companions and like people in like in Japan or China like
Yeah, it's
Talking
all
like- talking
it's all
like-
cultural. I know
yeah
what you're
I
talking
know
about.
it's
yeah.
it's just weird.
Dude, Japan or China? You been to Golden Chopsticks down the street? Fortune cookies are not in China. They're actually an American Chinese thing. That's what I learned
any
today,
any
actually.
Chinese place you go to around here is Americanized. There's no real Chinese food around here. I feel
Yeah.
like
That's what I
Not
always
that I've
wondered.
ever been to China, but
Do
I'd
people
love to
in
go.
China only eat Chinese food?
They
Jeff
probably have some stuff there from
Jeff
or American food.
Jeff Morbito just went to China, and he is, he loved it.
Mm-hmm. I've heard it's gorgeous. I've heard it's really like I want to go out to like the mountainsides and stuff like that. I've heard it's
It
awesome.
has to be crazy. There's so many people densely populated, and then like other places
y-
like there's
yeah,
no one.
Exactly. It's like the coasts of the America. Like the east and west coast are so populated, and then you go out to like Kansas, and there's no one. Or Montana or South Dakota.
Kansas is so cool to look at when you're like driving on the highway
Really?
or something. It's just
I never been.
you
to
can
Kansas.
see for like forever.
Yeah.
There's no stopping.
Yeah.
I know you're a big photographer.
Yeah.
They're a photography enthusiast.
Mm-hmm.
Like a word. So I think that'd be cool for you to go to China, and also another place is the pyramids. I was watching a show about the like ancient aliens.
Okay.
They were showing the pyramids. And
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because they always show the one side where it's like nothing behind the pyramids,
Mm.
but then if you look at the other
side's,
side,
like,
it's
the
just a
cities.
city. Yeah.
Yeah. Everything.
Wow.
I really like nature photography, so like I want to go up to Banff, Canada, and like Yosemite. I love Yosemite. Like
Yosemite
Half
National
Dome.
Park.
Yeah. I've never been out there yet, but I'm going out to Breckenridge this winter, so I'm hoping maybe I can like see some cool mountainsides, while I'm out there. But this summer I'm planning to go out there, hopefully to Colorado one more time. But like it going back to the pyramids thing, like it kind of sucks when you look at some of these new or not even new, just some of these landmarks, like even Niagara Falls or Yosemite. There's Hocking Hills, like all these cool places that are just nature attractions, but they're so humanized, like there's stairs, there's walkways, there's railings, there's trash everywhere. People are just leaving crap everywhere. It's for me as like the photography side of me, I want it to be clean too, but like also as like the nature side of me, that I love to be in the outdoors and I love everything about it. Like it really sucks at times to see that,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting segue. The government is shut down right now.
Mm-hmm.
That means that all national parks actually don't have any rangers, and nothing's getting cleaned, or nothing
really?
like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A fun fact.
It's all
if
government
you didn't
employees.
know. But you mentioned like the railings and stuff. That makes me think of the not catacombs. Another interesting thing, Paris catacombs. That's
Mhm.
like a whole thing that would be so interesting to explore. I would need like SWAT team or something with me. 'Cause you don't know what's down
I wouldn't
there.
go
Yeah, that is true.
But the Indian caverns. I always thought those were really interesting, and I want to go see those again. Like as like a little kid though, those were like the best.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
are things
remember
like
those.
where humans have. I mean, obviously humans were in them before, but now there's stairs.
Yeah.
There's
It's
like
just completely
blocked off.
different,
It's
yeah.
like, come on, man! I'm trying to explore the cave.
No, 100%.
But I heard there's like an underwater, lake down there where they have like species that we've never seen and stuff.
Really?
Oh yeah.
And that even leads into like Antarctica. I heard there's frozen lakes deep, like miles down. And
My uncle actually used to be one of those. My step uncle on my mom's side. He lived in West Virginia for a long time, like one of the most poor cities in West Virginia for a while. I don't remember the name of his honestly, but it's right on the Elk River. And this river, actually, part of it is underground, where the river will be up above ground, but then it goes under, and like it's one of those underground spots that like, and he used to climb into those and scuba them, and he would explore. And he stopped exploring one day when he almost got trapped and died. He almost died down there, but he stopped right after that. But he's told me all about it, and he loved everything about that type of stuff. And I'd honestly, minus the getting trapped and dying part, I'd love to learn about that stuff more.
Yeah.
That's probably like why Indian caverns like aren't more open, like you were talking about.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
it's a
dangerous,
liability because if you
yeah.
get lost down there, then you're done.
He
Yeah,
was a part of
of
like certain groups and stuff that were like scientific stuff. I think like going down, getting like sediment probably to test and
Yeah.
like learn about stuff
Okay.
like that. I'm assuming.
See, that's an interesting thing because we always hear about those people getting trapped by like floods in these caves and stuff.
Those
Are
kids
they
that
in-
just happened.
Are they exploring in there, or
I don't-
like
yeah, I don't
do
know how
they
they get there.
escape
They have to
from like somewhere else to a cave?
be. It's probably.
I think a lot of it is just exploring. Cause I know that one group that got caught down there. I
Like
think
the
it
soccer
was like
team or something?
the soccer team was down there, and they like, I think they were just there, and they got caught when a flood happened, which like
Oh man.
that's nature doing it, Like,
Yeah, that's just like
crazy
a
stuff.
freak coincidence or
Yeah,
whatever.
it is. Yeah.
Dude, there's so much stuff that we don't know about the ocean.
Well,
And-
you keep going. Sorry.
Like, because you were talking about scuba diving, and like scuba diving in the ocean, there's one. I mean, obviously it's not that dangerous because the sharks, for the most part, will leave you alone.
Yeah.
Unless you're like bleeding or whatever. But the worst thing I think that can happen is if you're like deep, like down, and the pressure's all on you, and you rise too quick.
Yeah,
heard
because then
about-
your lungs will
depends.
explode, or your
Yeah.
blood and your brain will explode, and all that. Yeah,
I heard
pressure.
about a group of like 8 divers that something happened, like an underwater explosion. This was on an alien television show. They apparently saw something,
Yeah.
and an random explosion happened underground. 8 of them, 5 of them, they all rose to the surface like super fast.
Too
5 of
fast.
them died.
Yeah.
3 of them have like major injuries in the hospital for months.
Yeah, it's crazy stuff. I was actually watching a video about these dudes that are like the underwater welders. They're like, I want to say like 800 feet underwater, and
Wow.
Man.
the times they work, they have to go down there for a month at a time because going up and down from that pressure so often would kill you just because the altitude or the pressure changed so often. So like
Wow.
they'll go down in these basically like campers, like motorhomes basically, that are underwater. They're just non-moving submarines, and they have to live down there for like 30 days at a time.
Man.
And they'll work 6 days on, like 4 days off, 6 days on, 4 days off, and they won't come up and repressurize to the regular atmosphere pressure until that whole 30 days is over. It's
Wow,
crazy.
Yeah.
They're living in a room this big for a month
Yeah.
with like 4 other guys or 5 other guys.
I'll go crazy if I was down there that long.
That'd be crazy.
If the zombie apocalypse ever comes, that might be the way to live.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
dude, the
you
way
can
to
live there
live
for
Or
30
on-
days
on the
and then
water,
you
on a
go back up.
sailboat. You get on a
cruise
sailboat.
ship, boy. You take it over.
Maybe, man. I've been watching this person called. Is it cool if I put in a little
Yeah.
link? They're
Yeah.
called Sailing La Vagabond. They're
yeah,
really cool
dude,
YouTube
I know
channel, man.
exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like that's the way to live, honestly. If there's
Dude,
supposed to be an
yeah.
apocalypse or something, you
See, there's this thing though. Like, I understand. Like
those monohull or those catamarans are stupid expensive though. They're like nice. The one they have, I think, is
You're talking about
upwards
the
in
boat?
like the boats.
Yeah.
I think it's like $1.4 million.
Yeah,
like,
but the
for that
problem
one.
with that is the pirates. Because you might not think like, oh, there's pirates, but there are. Even like Somali
They
pirates.
almost
are
got
out there.
attacked by pirates. Actually, they have a video about it.
Yeah, because like obviously, if I ever go on like international waters on like an extended stay, eventually,
Mhm.
if I have like 170-foot yacht, we're gonna be armed.
Oh yeah, I can
And
feel
I'm
that.
a strong advocate of being armed anywhere you are. Because someone
Same.
comes in the house. I mean, they're leaving in a body bag.
Yeah.
We're not messing around. But like even on the boat though, because like anyone could come up to you and it's one-on-one. There's no getting away from that.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine. I want to look into the rules on that too, like the regulations you have to have, because I'm assuming
In international waters,
Well,
there's
no, but,
probably
like,
minimal.
yeah, international waters, of course, but like they're also going into countries like they did a video about how hard it was just getting into like the U.S. and like other countries. Like they in a lot of their videos they'll mention how
They're
hate.
from Australia, right?
Yeah,
Or
they're
New
from
Zealand.
No, Australia. And they talk about a lot how they just hate bureaucracy because like it's so hard to get into so many countries, even though like it's understandable for like the like illegal immigrants and stuff like that who are like actually just trying to get into the country and not ever leave, where they're just going in and leaving within like 2 weeks. Like
Yeah.
for them it's so hard. They had to like wait for a whole week before they could get into the U.S. just to stay in Florida for like 2 weeks to leave.
Yeah. See, that's like a lot of circumstantial stuff, them trying to come just to visit. And that's when you got to think of like, that's like just a vacation. But there's so many hoops you got to jump through. But then you can't risk letting more illegal immigrants in, because we're already letting in, a couple million a year for the past so many years.
Mm-hmm.
And it's too big a risk to make it easy for people to come vacation.
Yeah, I understand that too, especially with just the past and stuff that's going on. I don't know, seeing from their perspective, it's definitely unique, like we're here and we never have to deal with anything that's bureaucratic, really.
Yeah.
We're like, they're dealing with it almost weekly.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing we have to deal with is probably the roundabouts.
Yeah. Hate those things, actually.
Dude, this huge one out here, there's like an accident like every other day.
I don't think that one is that hard to go around. It's just,
I know. I don't think it is,
turn.
but you got to think there are stupid people that drive.
I'm fine with them. Like, I feel like people in Dublin are fine with them, even on Latangi. But then when you get like other people coming in out of town, like they have no
they
clue
stop
what
at
they're
every
doing.
like thing.
Yeah,
dude. The other day it took a good 2 minutes to get through this one roundabout when there was no traffic before or after. And you might think 2 minutes is not that much, but when someone is
a roundabout's meant to go through. You just go right through it, not a stoplight.
Yeah, it's meant to keep the traffic flowing. And when stupid people encounter it, they just don't know what to do.
Yeah, exactly.
They're called rotaries in Massachusetts.
Really?
Yeah.
That's strange. That's pretty funny.
And they use the word wicked a lot on the East Coast. You ever hear that?
Yeah, I use that every once in a while.
East Coast word.
Yeah, that's just a little fact.
Sure.
I have a question for you guys. College-wise, do you guys want to go away from home, or do you want to be close to home?
I kind of like the idea of staying close to home, because it's like, I know most of my friends are staying close to home, and I find the best opportunities there, and it's not like out-of-state tuition or anything like that. Like, going to Florida would be amazing, but you don't know anybody there.
Yeah.
And it's just like probably party school, so you're going there for, right?
Yeah.
But I think here you get the best tuition, and you can still get really good academic opportunities too. So that's what I'm looking at.
See, my mind says go to like Colorado Boulder, go out to Washington, go to Cali or something like that. But my wallet says stick with C-State to OSU. But
dude, that's the way. I'm doing that.
That's what I'm gonna do too.
Hey,
but
let's do it.
I know.
You want to go to the Dublin branch?
I'm probably gonna do the one in Columbus, like, cause I'm gonna live in a house on OSU,
okay,
and then
smart.
I'll go to Columbus State, and then transfer into OSU after probably 2 years.
Yeah, that's the preferred path.
Yeah, I'm hoping to go into marketing, so it should be.
So you're majoring in marketing?
Hopefully, yeah.
That's sweet.
But if I could, I'd go out of state in a second, man.
Really?
Yeah, I just feel like I went to New York this past month or this summer.
I always wanted to go there. Never been.
Well, not the city, the state. When I was at a camp,
well,
I worked at
still New York. Anything.
True, anything out there, yeah. But I was up there for a whole month, and I went by myself to work at this camp, and I think it was like 30 or 40 other people came too. I didn't know any of them. There's kids from Arizona, from Kansas, from Virginia, like all over the nation, and like going there and just getting able to meet these people and like hear more about them and hear about their lives and stuff. Like, it was really cool to like, I don't know, like build new friends and a whole new perspective.
Connections.
Exactly.
Connections are huge in this day and age because, like, business-wise, for example, and
100%.
that's just something to always be aware of.
Well, and it's just, I love meeting new people. That's just who I am. I'm a talker usually, and I love to just meet anyone and everyone, So going out west, especially out west, would be my dream.
You mentioned a lot of liberal states. Is that something that interests you?
I don't know. I just think they're the most beautiful states, in my opinion. Ohio, in my eyes, has to be probably number 47 or 48
it's
in
just-
the
it's
most
boring.
beautiful states in the nation.
Yeah, our weather
I mean,
patterns aren't that good.
Yeah, they're disgusting.
And
So
places like Colorado are amazing for skiing.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
you stay there in the wintertime, and you're in for a treat.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you do ski, right?
I snowboard, yeah, and I
Oh,
also surf.
snowboard,
So
yeah.
I'm hoping like if I went out to Cali, that'd be perfect. So I could surf in the summer,
Yeah.
snowboard in the winter. You know.
Dude, I heard California has gone terribly, like with the bum population, and that actually reminded me of something. What is your opinion on the people that beg on the side of the road every day in and day out, and do you think that they are cheating in the way that they're making more money than they let on?
So I'll tell you my perspective just because of my personal experiences. When I was in downtown Dublin, like last summer or summer before, I was driving past one of them to see her holding her iPhone behind a piece of cardboard, saying she didn't have any money, and I mean that kind of frustrated me.
Was
I-
that by Walgreens?
No, it was downtown Dublin. Actually, it was right down here. It was
Okay.
or old downtown Dublin, right across the river. But I don't know. It was just like. But then I also know the homeless population within Columbus is huge. Like it's a epidemic. It's a huge problem, and it's real. But like the people who are here in Dublin, like I might be lacking perspective or knowledge, but how do you become homeless within Dublin and just have the ability to transport yourself to spots like Perimeter?
Well,
I
that's
don't
the
know if
thing.
I'm making
That's
sense.
the
You
thing.
know
The
what I mean?
lady on Perimeter, I think you're talking about by CVS, like you're
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
She has a car she walks to.
Yeah,
It's parked in
exactly.
McDonald's parking lot every day.
Because those
I
people.
think she goes somewhere at night,
Mhm.
and I think they're put there by a higher up
Yeah.
to, gain.
I never thought
and-
about that. Yeah.
Yeah, so these people are pretty much scamming the giving.
Mm-hmm.
But like for the people that really are homeless, I hope they're not like on the streets every single day begging for money. They need to
I
like
think people that
they
are
certainly
actually
need to go
homeless,
up and like be active or something.
people
like
that are actually homeless will not be on the corner, in my opinion.
That
I think they'll
Wendy's-
be at the shelters that are meant for them, and I think they'll be doing something
Mm.
about it, trying to get a job, for
Yeah.
example, because every place,
Yeah.
McDonald's, Wendy's, everything's hiring.
Wendy's offered that lady on the corner a job, I heard, and
Really?
Yeah.
she declined it because she's making more than she would make at Wendy's.
100%.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of those people can bring in 6 digits.
Wow.
Not a lot, but there's a small percentage that can bring in $8,000 a lot of money.
That's
My
incredible.
grandfather
I
doing
had
that
no
stuff.
clue they made that. Like
Yeah.
they made that much money just sitting on the street like that.
My grandfather was a teacher for many, many years, started in 1965, and he would do these tours to Washington, D.C.,
Mm.
to New York, and he did these a lot. The very first time he went to New York with the bus driver, who is very knowledgeable of the area, they were talking about the homeless people, and he says, my grandfather, do not give the homeless people money. Tell your kids that, because they
It goes straight to drugs usually.
no, they're
from my
leading
assumption.
you on, is what
Oh,
he's trying
okay.
to say.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll show you. So they drive up to this guy with his legs, like those roll things where you put your legs on it and you like roll with your hands. You know what I
A
mean?
wheelchair?
No. It's on the ground. It's like flat,
Maybe. I'm not too sure if I'm
like
honest.
elementary school
It's
gym.
the same thing.
Oh, like those little things you sit on. and
Oh,
you just, like,
Yeah.
scoot
So he
around.
had his
Yeah.
legs on that, like
Okay.
tied to it or whatever. And he says, my grandfather, that guy can walk. He'll be walking tonight, and he'll be going out in a limousine, because they make so much money off of just sitting there and begging, and preying on the
And welfare.
people. Yeah, that's another good point. And this ties into everything. Some people are really not in a position to do good in life. They're homeless. They
That's
have a disability.
My dad deals a lot with that. The homeless
Yeah.
population in Columbus, that's a huge problem where like it's the poverty circle where it's an actual like problem where it's not these people sitting on the corner, but it's the people grinding out 40-hour weeks, making minimum wage, not being able to support for their family. Like that's the family that needs welfare and deserves the welfare.
Yeah.
But those people sitting on the corner, I mean, it's my opinion.
Yeah,
you
they're
know?
people that scam the welfare.
Mhm.
They scam the people that are handing out money.
Mhm.
They use these. They take advantage of the systems we have in place in the country.
One like fail safe that you can do for that. Like I remember my dad, instead of like he saw a homeless person on the road or like a homeless person, and instead of giving them money, he actually
Bought
gave
them
them
food.
no, like he had like a leftover fruit platter or something from the party. He just handed that to them.
Yeah.
I mean
a lot of people
that's
do
still
that now.
something that homeless people need, right?
Yeah.
And like
For
if
sure.
you actually
You
are
know what
homeless,
makes me
that would
really
be really
mad?
helpful for
It's
you.
when they have dogs, dude.
Oh
Like,
my gosh!
dude,
Yeah,
the
if you
guy
can
on
feed your
Sawmill-
dog, then you shouldn't be sitting on
The
the
guy
side
on
of the
it
street.
just
Sawmill did
makes me
not have a
so
dog
sad.
before, and he got a dog.
Exactly.
And the dog's trained because when he taps a dog or like puts his hand out, he'll shake his hand and give him a treat. That dog's trained to do that. He got the dog after he was homeless, after he's been on the street. You know, they infested the area and they're making a profit. You know, they do not need to be where they are, and that's why the country is going downhill. I heard in L.A. it's terrible.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine some of the major cities. I mean, Columbus is up and coming now, and if
Yeah.
you look at like North High Street, it's been rebuilt in tons of ways. Like my mom said, she can't even recognize it from when she went to college there.
Dude, everything's getting
Like-
built up. Have you been to Polaris, man?
Yeah, Polaris,
Oh,
Grandview, Clintonville. It's
Right
Clintonville
here
used
on
to
the
be
river.
horrible. Like it.
Like
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
I think Columbus is a place to be, and I think I'll be here for a while. If not here, then I have to go to like Boston, maybe Texas. Texas is similar, you know.
Dallas would be nice.
Yeah,
Mm.
dude, that place is huge.
I hate the heat though. I don't want to go south.
Yeah, see, I like here because it's like long sleeve weather. You can
Yeah.
usually wear long sleeves year round, unless it's like blazing hot somewhere.
Yeah.
But
That's probably why Texas football players are so good because they practice in the heat all the
Yeah.
time.
Wouldn't surprise me.
yeah, so I don't know, man. The world's messed up. People take advantage
Yeah,
of
but,
those.
you
who
know,
they
There's still
allow.
good. There's good stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of good things out there. I mean, I had a great summer this year, even though like there is a lot of problems. I got to go
Yeah.
around, meet new people, and some people out there are just undeniably amazing people.
Did you have your
Yeah.
phone out there?
No, actually, for the whole month, I only
Wow.
got my phone 3 times for the whole month,
That's
which is
tough.
I loved it, man. I'll tell you right now, if I could go to a flip phone, I wouldn't a second. But because of me trying to like build up in social media, I keep this to work as build it
You
up.
have to keep it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Young Life Camp was like really cool because you didn't have your phone at all.
Yeah,
It was just
yeah.
just you and other people.
See,
Mhm.
that's something that I do miss in a way, and I've never really experienced it, I guess, because, you know, I'm pretty young. We're all pretty
Mhm.
young. But, like, the face-to-face interaction that you'd have without smartphones. Because nowadays, you know, you're standing at a table with 6 people. At least 3 of them are going to be on their phone, you know.
Oh yeah.
Just talking to one
That's-
another is
I actually
not
said- I set restrictions on mine to I only have an hour and a half where I can be on social media a day, and then it locks Instagram and all my other social media.
Okay,
apps.
hey, that's a little too far.
That's just how I feel about it, man.
That's
And then
wild.
all my apps lock at 11 p.m. And they don't open until 5 a.m.
Wow.
So that's just the way I want to live, you know. It's comes from what we were talking about earlier
That's like
before the
discipline,
podcast.
so
Yeah,
I'll
it's
give you
that
that.
minimalist stuff, trying to build more productivity rather than spending time just scrolling up and down for hours and hours and hours. I'd rather do something that's actually going to build knowledge or help me build to a goal or something like that, you know.
Yeah. I just thought of something. Cody Parkey, the kicker.
Oh,
For the Bears.
yes.
So
Took me a second.
he got screwed over because he was going to kick the field goal. That, you know, the clock was coming down. He, like, you know, he starts his motion.
He got ice.
He
Yeah,
he
the ice
kicks
on
it,
him.
but they call a timeout right when he's kicking
Yeah.
it, so
Yeah.
it doesn't
He
count.
made
And it was
that.
perfect
Yeah.
kick.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, what a scumbag, Philadelphia's coach.
Doug
and
Peterson,
then
great coach.
He had to kick it again. You said today it got tipped.
Yeah, yeah.
I was
didn't-
unknowing
I
to
was
that.
listening to it on the radio. I had no idea, and my dad and I were just like, we were listening to the car, and we were just like, wow, I cannot believe that he missed that kick.
Yeah.
Because like
Mhm.
you get your confidence up after you make
Well,
the
see, when I
first
was
kick,
watching
right?
it,
You're like,
yeah.
okay, I got this.
Well, and he's hit the post like
He hit-
6 times
He hit
this
the
season.
post, and then
Wow.
he hit the bar, too. He double hit it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's out of the season. He's hit the post I think 6 times. They said in an interview that I saw.
Jeez.
So like I mean
Yeah.
I'm a Browns fan, so I've experienced bad
Mhm.
kickers and bad
Yeah.
seasons. But I
Oh,
don't know.
and 16.
Yeah, I mean the playoffs is a position where you gotta expect someone to play their role, though. You know, like I don't remember what interview or not interview, what show it was I was listening to, but the guy was like, you know, a lot of people say football doesn't come down to one play, but sometimes it does,
It
and
does.
like that's a
Well,
prime situation.
Well, I
interesting
mean,
thing.
like, I'm like that video that came out today.
Mm.
I personally don't think it's his fault anymore. I thought it
Okay.
like, wow,
I
he
haven't
just
seen
choked.
that video yet, so
It-
maybe.
I haven't seen it.
Like
either.
when you see it, you'll be like, wow, I think he actually did tip that ball.
Really?
Because you
Okay.
can see the ball change in the air. But
Interesting perspective. The Eagles, I think they kicked field 3 PAT field, or not PAT, I guess, but just 3 field goals
Yeah.
to build their first 9 points. That just shows you it comes down to one player, the kicker being on point or not on point.
Yeah.
Let's say they missed those 3.
well,
They
I
lose
think
the
I
game.
think they actually scored. They got a field goal and then they scored a touchdown before the half.
No,
And
because
then-
it was
no,
it was-
because it was like I remember listening to the drive. It was like 4th and goal. They were down 10-15, right? And then they
Oh,
got.
I don't know
they
about.
got
I'm
it-
speaking
got-
early games.
Oh,
Their first
okay,
9
okay,
points.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. So
I
we
didn't
got-
watch the game, so I have no clue, to be honest. I was just
Can you
basing
imagine
off what people
though,
said.
like if Nick Foles did the same exact thing he did last year? Like
Oh,
he
yeah.
wasn't the starting quarterback
Mhm.
the whole season, comes in because Carson Wentz is injured and wins the damn
And then
Super
wins
Bowl.
it. Yeah, that'd be crazy.
That'd be wild. All right. So we got a couple things going on in politics right now. The government is shut down, but December was a great month. There were reportedly 312,000 new jobs added to the workforce. You know, unemployment's at 3.9%, very low.
Mhm.
It's very good for a country. I think the average is obviously very high. I think in Europe it's like roughly 10%.
What's like the national average in like the past some years? Or,
It's low. I know in 2008, I think it was around 8%.
Okay.
So we're now at 3.9.
Okay.
So been on a good trend. 63.1 labor participation rate, which is great. You know, I think that's good. Anything above 50%, I'd say good. And then 3.2% yearly growth rate. So their salaries is, or I guess their job force. I don't know. It's good.
Yeah.
Growth is
Yeah.
good.
Bigger numbers.
And we're doing good. You know, some people are saying we're in a recession because the stock market is not doing too good right now.
Mm.
But I think it'll bounce back, and I think it'll be good. Now, I do have a question for BHOS.
Okay.
There are a couple new amendments introduced by Steve Cohen.
Okay.
One is to abolish the Electoral College, destroy some of the very foundations of the country.
Okay. You want me to answer that?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's your opinion on that?
Well, I can see why people want to abolish the Electoral College because,
there have been five presidents that have lost popular vote
Yeah.
but have won in the Electoral College.
yeah. So the question is, like, do you want the Electoral College to represent you, or do you want the whole entire population to represent you? Like, because that's technically the goal for like the representatives. Oh,
That's just not good.
yeah. Oh, damn. Again, your
Yeah.
oh shoot.
No, it's fine.
You gotta move
It's
on.
alright.
Okay,
I'm
I'll
just gonna
this,
move
I'll
that in
this.
front of you for now.
Okay. But yeah, like as I was saying, like the Electoral College is supposed to like embody what the nation wants, but sometimes that doesn't work out. And the question is, do you want to abolish that system, and you just want like a true election, or do you want it to be the representatives elect who you get?
So it's kind of like, do you want a representative democracy or do you want a direct democracy?
Yeah.
I know just whenever I think about this topic, it like the map, like the picture of the map of the counties, you know what I mean, comes in my mind. Like,
yeah, the
Yeah.
gerrymandering of it too.
and like it's incredible to see just how any large city is just fully Democrat usually,
yeah.
and then you have the vast
Yeah.
majority of the the breadbasket of the nation,
Uh-huh.
where there's people living like 10 miles apart, and that's their neighbor. Like,
And then like all of those are like
yeah,
red
exactly,
counties, and it still
exactly.
goes Democrat. Like it's
And like if you're basing, in my eyes, if you're basing the nation's like future off of just these small slivers of the nation, you know, and
Yeah.
not voicing any of the rest of it,
hmm
then that's just taking away the aspect of like a free nation, of having the right to vote and stuff. That what's the point to vote if your vote doesn't count?
Yeah,
you
I
know?
mean, like, well, the thing is, like, gerrymandering is, I'm pretty sure it's illegal. Like, you can't jerry rig
Yeah,
it
I
so
don't
that
think
way.
it
yeah,
allowed,
yeah, I know what you're
technically.
saying.
Yeah, but I don't know exactly how it's supposed to be, like, separated out into counties like that.
Mhm.
But yeah,
And then that like Florida fraud voting too. Did you ever hear about that?
the Al
Yeah,
Gore,
I
the
don't know
Al
how
Gore
that
election
actually ended
with-
up.
Yeah, I didn't either.
No,
I
that
just
was
remember
years
hearing-
ago.
Yeah, I
No,
know.
that was
There was
recently.
like a miscount with the votes or something like that.
Now, the same congressman introduced a bill that would not it would stop the president from pardoning himself, his family members, his campaign staff, his White House staff. What are your opinions on that? Do you think
Pardoning himself from what?
from crimes?
Oh,
Like
from
a presidential
all
pardon.
crimes? Okay.
See, as of right now, I don't know if if Trump is indicted, I don't know if he could pardon himself right away. I know if he resigned, then Pence could obviously
Yeah,
pardon him.
yeah.
because that's happened
Like
before.
with Nixon.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that for me is a gray area. But you know, to say he couldn't pardon his family, I know Trump
Okay.
has ties. You know, his family runs his business now. A lot of the Trump business has shut down though, like he said it would in the past.
Okay. I feel like everyone should be held to a standard in America. You know,
Yeah.
like because if we're doing it like everyone's equal, I feel like everyone, even including the government, should be held to a certain part of accountability. So they can't be like pardoned for something that they do that's against like national law. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This might be a little overshot, but like I feel like who was it that's making these amendment?
Steve Cohen.
Okay,
Yeah.
I feel like these might just be shots to like build his name. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
might be far fetched,
Yeah,
but
try
He's
and
in
say
relation
such
to Trump somehow,
drastic.
right?
No.
You know,
I have
Isn't he?
no
I thought he
clue.
was in relation with Trump.
No,
somehow.
I never heard
Okay.
this name
Okay.
before.
Okay.
But like I feel like it's kind of just shots to build up his name, you know, to like build that
Yeah,
like
trying to
the
make a name for
media
himself. I understand
media
that.
is such a huge thing now. Like
Mhm.
he could say something so wild, and people would forget about it within 6 months, give or take, and he could like build a foundation off that following, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's also because like he could like our president right now could say something like you said, wild,
Mhm.
but like he said a
Do you
lot
think
of things
the
that
president
people.
should be allowed to say something wild?
No, he's allowed to say whatever he wants.
Do you think anyone's allowed to say whatever they want?
Yeah, it's freedom of speech, first press. I mean, like First Amendment.
Do you
but-
think even disrespecting the office of the president, calling them a motherfucker, is allowed?
I mean, I don't.
It's freedom.
I don't
freedom of
recommend you
speech.
say it, but it's freedom of speech.
What would you
Did
say
you
about
hear-
Hillary Clinton?
Did
Yeah.
you hear that Rashida Tlaib
I've never heard
from
of it.
Michigan, new congresswoman, said we're going to impeach that motherfucker? She said this to her kid apparently,
Okay.
and she said that at she had like a little like rally or like party to celebrate, and she said that on stage.
She's. I mean, she's allowed to say whatever she wants. She can't. Be
I just
like,
think it's
she
up to
can't
the
be-
voters if their morals stand
to.
up to voting for her again after saying
Mhm.
that. I mean,
if people like passionate speeches
Yeah.
like that, then they
So
might wanna
far,
vote for it, but-
all of our colleagues have essentially
So, like you said.
denounced her
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
and disapproved.
See,
Okay, so she might have gone
exactly
too
she
overboard.
faced the
That's her punishment.
consequences,
Yeah.
of her free speech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because everyone has free speech. I could say whatever I want right now
Mhm.
on this podcast.
Yeah. Now, if
But
now
then I
if
have to
you're
face the
threatening, if you're threatening
consequences.
somebody, like if you're like
Yeah, I feel
there was
that
a
too.
threat back
Yeah,
I mean, the Obama administration, like someone threatened to kill him. That's
Yeah.
that's when you get apprehended. That's a problem.
Yeah,
Yeah, I feel that.
interesting. So you guys know about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
I've heard her.
To an
Recently,
extent, yeah.
recently had a 60 Minutes interview in that she declared that she is, in fact, a radical.
Okay.
And then she also made statements as to tax people. She wants to tax people up to 70% of their income.
Okay, that's
So, like, let's say you're going to pay $10. She
Yes.
wants to take away $7 of that
well.
to pay for tax.
I thought you told me that it was like the top 1% that get taxed.
She wants
Alright.
to. She said the tippity top,
Okay.
to use her
Okay.
Okay.
expert, language. Tippity top.
I'm assuming what she means by that is like the top 1% or something. But even like, I don't know how much 70% of their income is. That seems
Yeah.
like a little much to
Yeah.
me. Like, especially with like the lifestyles that they already live, taking away 70% is too much because that could make them go bankrupt or something. Or that
Yeah.
could cause them to be in debt. I personally think they should be taxed a little bit more because of their success.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be to the point where like it takes away from them.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure it is a statistic that you should use 1/3 of your monthly income as rent, and then there's other statistics. I think 23% of it is tax. You have to take.
Mhm.
You have to average that. So 23% of your income, let's say, is going to tax.
Okay.
1/3 of it's going to like rent, some of groceries, maybe a car payment.
Okay.
Other necessities to live. Cable, internet, whatever.
Mhm.
So I think 70% of your income is completely, undoable.
Yeah.
Now for the tippity top 1%,
Yeah, for the 1%, I feel like that's
maybe, but
their income though still even after that 70% is always growing. Like
Yeah.
those people
but
aren't just
that's even to
stagnant at
say,
their income.
once you, why would you strive to be better when you should just get to a certain point and stop? Why become a doctor when you can work at McDonald's
Well,
and get money?
Think of it like this. In like an extreme case, like for Bill Gates, he has like $90 billion, right?
Yeah.
If you tax him 70%, it goes down to like 20-something billion, right? That's still a lot of money, but
Well, he's giving away practically all of his money.
I
to
know
charity.
that's a lot of money, but that's a lot of money being taken away from him, right? But if you're to a point where you're so rich that you're considered in the top 1%, you most likely have an abundance of money that you
Yeah.
don't need for anything. And I think that's what some people are trying to tax them for because they don't need it and they don't want to spend it on anything.
Well, that's the thing people don't understand. The rich and the elite actually employ a lot of Americans.
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos, owner of Amazon, you
Mhm.
know, every
I mean,
Amazon
they put
employee
3 Amazon thing, like what's it called? Those
warehouse.
the warehouses like around
Distributing
just
centers.
Dublin.
Yeah, built over there on I don't know. It's one of the Hilliard.
One like
roads.
Honda. I don't know the CEO of Honda, but I'm assuming
I don't
Honda's.
know
They half of Dublin's jobs are Honda.
Yeah,
If you look at it,
you know,
you know.
the elite are paying these people. You know,
Mhm.
let's say the top 10% funds the other 90%, and that's what a lot of people don't understand, I think. And then, okay, Kindle for example, every Kindle that you see costs like 5 cents less to make it, so they're not turning a profit on Kindle, for
Okay.
example.
Mm.
That's like a service, you know.
Yeah.
They're you know trying to get people to read, advocate for reading,
Mhm.
and of course they do make money off of the books that people buy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, they're not making any money off of that particular product.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean,
They're spending money out
they
of
still
their
make
pocket
money
to make
off of a lot
Oh,
of
of
other
course,
things,
they
yeah.
they have a lot of sources of income,
Yeah.
but I think it's still like criminal to like take away from money that people are working hard to earn.
I mean, that's what taxes are. Like, they take away from everybody.
Yeah.
It just
Mhm.
varies based on how much money or, like, excess money that you
The only
have.
problem socialists will run into is when they run out of other people's money to borrow.
Yeah. That's why we're capitalists, thankfully. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. The free market,
Yeah.
place for opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think we might have one more thing to talk about. Nothing on that one. Let's see about this one. Nothing on that one.
Oh.
Uh-oh. You guys want to talk about anything?
I'm curious to hear, Billy, your opinions on environmental problems.
Environmental problems?
Yeah.
Like what?
Going along with, if I'm to mention Trump allowing drilling within national forests and stuff like that, like what's your opinion towards
I
that?
think to an extent, it should be okay. There are a lot of trees still in the world, and I think we're replanting them at such a rate, you know, that it will not affect us in the long run. I think there should be some national parks, of course. You know, there should always be some to preserve what nature is truly. But there's so much like wilderness that we have not like, you know,
Well, do you think
Like where?
industrialized.
Do you
the
think we should-
countryside.
How you can't industrialize? What are you going to industrialize out there?
I'm saying it's not a city.
I actually have
Okay.
I have a question for you too, Billy. Like about like with drilling and like deforestation
Mm.
as well, like taking down trees. Do you think there should be a regulation on like how much like natural land should be taken out and then stopped there, so that way
Well, this is like the
you can still have like
Lorax.
a like preservation of land in like urban areas?
I think
or
what they
something like
do, what they did in New York with like the park in New York, that's prime real estate. That land
Yeah.
in New York, what's the park called?
that. Central Park.
Yeah,
Central Park. That land is worth a lot of money,
Oh yeah.
and you know they set it aside for a park, and I think that's that's great. If they want to do that in every major city, that's very well, do whatever. But I think if someone paid good money for good land, then they should be able to do what they want with it. Let's say for every 100 trees you cut down, you have to plant 100 new ones. Maybe, that's just something to think about. But that's something for, and I think some committee will probably figure that out if they haven't already in like the House of Representatives. That's for a committee to decide and vote on. And
So like, if you're saying that like for 100 trees that are taken down, you have to redistribute 100, correct? And
that's just an example.
yeah. I mean, I understand that topic. I understand that like idea, and you're gonna have to put those somewhere else if you're buying that land, right?
So you're buying land to like build houses on it?
Yeah, like to industrialize it. You know what I mean?
Oh, then no. I think if you said deforestation, like if you're chopping out trees to use the lumber, sell the lumber off,
Okay.
maybe replant the trees. But if you're
Yeah.
building on it, then I mean you can't really replant them.
Okay. Well, do you think there's a point that we have to stop doing that? Because
I don't think
like if the
I don't
trees
think we'll
get,
run into that for hundreds of years.
I know, but like if there's like a pace that we have
I
to
mean,
stop
with the rate that the human population is increasing, I feel like it would come a lot sooner than we're ever expecting. Especially, not even like the land itself, but when you're taking away these trees from like the Amazon forest, like that's adding to the fact of the greenhouse gases, along with all the natural gases we're burning, with all the coal we're burning, with everything we're doing, like just agriculture and stuff like that, all the fumes that are going up. and not being able to be processed through like the forests in which we have that are just being cut down more and more. You know, like I want to. I probably have my facts wrong, but I want to say near to like 50% of Amazon has been cut down. I might be wrong, but it's somewhere
I
around
don't know
there.
because the Amazon's big.
Yeah, it's
I know a lot of it has
it's
been
over
cut
like
down.
30.
If
The
it's
Amazon
50,
cleans over
that's a big
30% of
problem.
our air. Like it's 30%
Yeah.
of the air we intake is gone through the Amazon forest.
I'm pretty sure I heard. I don't know who this is from. Pew Research, probably not. That about 11% of our energy right now is renewable.
Mm.
And
I'd love to see that to get to like 50 by
Oh,
like
yeah,
2025
of
or
course.
something like
Tesla's
that.
doing huge things. You can actually
Mhm.
get Tesla power installed into your house.
Yeah,
now.
I've heard about that one.
You know, and obviously you got to pay like a premium for that, but
Mhm.
over time it'll pay itself off,
Yeah.
just like pretty much any investment. Like the big wind turbine on
Oh yeah,
what's that?
270.
North, yeah,
Yeah, 270 north.
you know, in 15 years that'll pay itself off.
Yeah, totally.
You know,
I'd just love to see more of that going up around. You know.
yeah, but for example, Paris runs on almost all nuclear power. If you
Yeah.
didn't know that, so I don't think we're the biggest problem.
Then you have countries like Denmark, though. Denmark has just fields of turbines in the ocean and
Yeah.
in the land.
Well,
like,
funny story. If
I
you,
don't
if
know
you
their
go to
exact
your,
percentage, but they're really high on renewable
If
resources.
you drive to Chicago, for example,
Mm.
on most routes you'll pass through a big turbine field.
Yeah,
with
yeah,
hundreds of them. You know, you can't see anywhere without a turbine.
yeah,
And I think Denmark's a lot smaller than us.
yeah.
And I
It is
think in
very much.
proportion we probably have a lot more renewable energy. You know,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could understand that.
I
What
think.
do you think the ratio is for Denmark, like renewable to non-renewable energy
Oh,
sources?
I have
they
no
have?
clue, dude.
Yeah, I don't
I'm
know.
just
I
saying,
just remember,
like-
Denmark on a like size comparison though, it's so small.
Yeah,
Like, do you
Like-
think it would be
I
like a
wanna
bigger
say-
ratio than America? Like, do you think
I
we
want to
could do
say their
more
I
with
think ours
percentage
is
was
better
around
because
65.
I heard about.
I might be wrong.
I
Though.
heard
It was really
11
high.
I heard 11% of America, and you got to think Denmark. 11% of America is probably still bigger than Denmark. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, I
Yeah.
could fully see that. Yeah.
Do you think we could still do like a bigger part though? Like have
Oh, we
somewhere around
can, but right
65%
now it's just not
renewable
cost
energy?
efficient.
Okay.
A lot of it's coming from like Teslas and stuff. Teslas are like $60,000 right now.
Yeah,
you know?
that's a big
Okay.
problem. I
you
think
can't
too.
really do that.
To live clean is expensive.
Yeah,
you know, it's
that's
hard.
the same.
Yeah.
Solar
same
panels
sort
are
of scenario,
stupid
you
right
know,
now.
Going
Yeah, I know,
going to
those
a
are
restaurant
insanely
getting a
big.
salad is $15. While getting chicken's $10. People are obviously going to
Yeah.
get chicken more often than salad.
Yeah,
And it tastes better. That's why.
Yeah, chicken is better.
yeah. I
I
can,
eat
I
so
can
much
agree with
chicken;
that.
it's deadly.
Chicken's better than like red meat though,
I know,
Yeah.
beef and stuff.
dude. I went to Outback last night. They fell off.
Really?
Not as good.
I feel like Outback hasn't really been as good as a lot.
I
of the
know. I
restaurants,
like.
though.
I
What a
actually go to
shame.
Texas Roadhouse a lot.
Oh,
Love
Texas Roadhouse
Texas
is
Roadhouse.
so
I think
Oh,
Texas
yeah.
Roadhouse is one of the best meals in town.
Oh yeah.
Their steak is
It's good.
amazing.
All right, boys. I think that's our time.
Yeah. Thank you for having me on the
Yeah.
show.
Kobe,
course, it was
thanks.
awesome, dude.
BHOS, thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming on.
Thank you.
It's been
Mhm.
lovely. This has been episode 11 of the Consistent Genius Podcast. We're signing off. We'll be back next Tuesday with 2 more amazing guests. All right, we'll see you.